is Thunder Bob with Thunder Radio. We're here at the Convention Center in Indianapolis. We're interviewing the world's fastest human on a motorcycle, Carr. Nice to have you.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here.
So, the number is right here somewhere. What was it? 350 miles an hour?
There it is. There it is.
There.
There. That's how fast we move.
Just in case you missed it, it wasn't 351, but it was a shade under 351. And the previous record was?
342, which was set by Rocky Robinson on the same week.
Earlier in the week.
Before that, it was 322 by Dave Campbell. So the number got bumped up almost 30 miles an hour in 1 week.
And Dennis held the record some 16 years ago? 16, 17 years ago?
That was longer ago than that. I think Vesco broke the record that he set in 1970, was broken in 74 by Vesco.
So 32 years.
Yeah, he's been
chasing that record.
A while.
So now he told me an interesting story about how the two of you got together. He was looking for someone to commandeer the Streamliner.
Yeah.
Tell us your side of that story.
Well, from my side is that I'm browsing through the internet one day and I saw this press release that some guy named Bob was wanting somebody to pilot his Streamliner in an attempt to set the land speed record. So I read the press release and then I saw it in another couple other places and it got me to thinking, that I kind of jogged my memory that I'd always wanted to do something with Bonneville. So I went.
Had you ever been to Bonneville before?
The closest I got was the rest area out there on the interstate. Go out, yeah, that's Salt, see ya. But I'd never set foot on the racetrack before. So I started looking around a little bit, and I went and asked my wife. I said, "Hey, what do you think if I try to go set a land speed record?" And she goes, "Well, how fast?" I said, "Well, the record is 322 right now." And she looked at me like I, was from Mars or something. So I told her that I always wanted to do it, and she goes, "Well, if you think it's all right." I told her if it's not as safe as what I normally do, then I won't do it. I'm a family man.
Well, Chris, what was the fastest you'd been on a motorcycle?
I would say sit on bike. I reached 180 at Daytona.
Okay.
Road racing, but I'd never gone that kind of speed on the street or anything like that. But so getting back to our story, so I asked around a little bit. I ended up finding some people that knew Dennis from years past, and I just asked some questions about it. I finally called him up, said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm interested in riding a bike, but I'd like to come out and look at it." So I got to come out in January. That was in October when I saw the press release. So by January, I'd seen the bike, and I guess I was the guy you wanted, and I was chosen one.
So what did it feel like strapping yourself into that?
Well, the first time I got in the bike, and I'm getting ready to get towed down the Salt. It's very, very, I was almost claustrophobic at first. And that's one of the things that you can't have in these things is claustrophobia. So I was a little concerned then, but just for a tow run without the motor even running, I was very nervous. This is a piece of work, this motorcycle. Last thing I wanted to do is, screw it up. So, but it was we did the right thing. We went through a series of a process to get the bike and me up to speed together.
What did you have to do to get acclimated to it?
Well, I just had to get used to the controls and remember that I can't use body English to steer this bike. It's all in the hands. It's all in the balance of the bike and the gyroscopic effects. And that I couldn't, scoot back on the seat, get more traction or anything like that. It was a total
You were in a
deal.
cockpit, basically.
Yeah.
So Dennis told us that on the return back, the second run back, to actually make the record official, that along the way you hit a crosswind of about 11 miles an hour. Tell us or describe to us what that felt like, what you had to do to overcorrect that you would do differently in the Streamliner versus a regular open motorcycle.
Well, things started blowing the bike to the right. The course is about 100 feet wide, and I was pretty much down the middle of it. And
were you at 330, 340?
No, this was just getting going, actually.
Oh.
We were at slower speeds. It was in first gear when I first felt it, but doing 140 miles an hour in first gear, all of a sudden the bike goes and it starts veering right, and I didn't make it do that. So I mean, I knew I had crosswind, so you kept countering it back into the wind and turning into the wind, and eventually it stopped blowing to the right, and I kept my foot in and was accelerating the whole time. So I mean, had a lot of steering input to the left, and the bike was going straight, but I was turning left.
Did you have that crosswind effect the rest of the way down the course?
All the way through the 6. The wind didn't stop blowing until through the 6 mile. So what the speed was of the wind at 5 miles down the track, I don't know.
What would you guess if there was no crosswind? How fast could you have gone?
Well, I think we would have done another 354 run like we did on the out run. I think we were 354, 355 was certainly doable.
Was there ever any time during the run that you thought there might be some trouble, or was it smooth sailing the whole way?
On the return run, initially the thing was a little loaded up down low and was starving for fuel. And I wasn't sure it was going to quite get going, but then it worked its way through it. So it was a little rough running on the bottom end. It's not designed to go those low RPMs,
right.
And so that kind of got my attention a little bit.
And when you came down the track the first time, my understanding was the speedometer didn't give you a true read.
No, it didn't.
What did it say, and what were you actually doing?
Well, we had planned to do a run of 325 miles an hour, and up until that point we had gone 300. So I was, going to make that next step. Just all of a sudden do another 50-mile-an-hour jump.
Right.
So I took the bike up to 325 miles an hour, and I got there by the 4-mile marker, and I had another mile to the timed mile, and I wanted to get a timing slip. Dennis had instructed that if things felt good, then just ride it out. And at the 4 mile, we hit 325, and I eased up, and everything felt good. The bike was steady, it was stable, there was no wind, and at the 4.5, I put my foot back in it, and I accelerated through to the 6-mile marker, and the top speed that I saw on my dash was 342 miles an hour. Well, if that's 354, the speedometer's off. At the 6. That was about what I thought the top speed was. So I was shocked when they told us we went 354. Because our speedometer was about 20 mile an hour off, and we were 362 through the end. So top speed was 362.
Now, what does the acceleration feel like? Are you?
It's with the long gearing that we have.
Right.
It's a 1.8 or something like that final drive. So it takes a while to get it going. And,
so what kind of G effect do you feel?
I think under acceleration, hard acceleration, it's 0.4 of a G.
Okay, so it's not quite as torquey, if you will, as you might suspect.
No. So, I mean, it does have a lot of torque, but I'm not getting shot out of a cannon.
Right.
We take our time to get up to speed, and that's about where it's at.
So are you in training right now for this year's run?
I'm going flat tracking full time. That's my real job.
Right.
And we have some tests scheduled in June, July.
And what do the guys on the tour that you've known for years say after you've broken this?
I don't think they know what to say, really. I tell them all, hey, I'm faster than all you guys. All right, so just
don't try anything.
Don't try anything. I've been faster than all of them.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
And that's it for Thunder Radio today. Thank you.